and poisons and radiation out of it again. And I think if you think about what that means that even if you're getting genetically modified food, you can neutralize it. It will not give anything good because there's nothing in good in anything that's genetically modified. But it will not give anything bad either, so at least you're staying neutral till you get smart enough to begin only those things that are good for it. So that's a whole line of diets. For those who think it's just for the cell phone, you can see there are 15 other kinds. We also have monatomic gold, which is another thing that most people don't understand. And I will not give a whole classroom on that tonight, but I will simply say this. I've been using the monatomic gold products since 1973, and I have found that they have been good for me. I've progressed up with it in my body to begin to work with that to a point where I think now my blood is pretty rich. Well, that sounds too like pretty rich, but at any rate, but at the same time, it is useful. Now, there are all kind of things being said, good and bad, and some of your audience may want to get into that as a debate, but I hope more or less as a debate to lead to something that is more positive. But I'm telling you now, the kind of monatomic gold that we utilize is very good. It's field registered, and we have also 15 different kinds of monatomic gold. Most people don't realize that, too. We even have a gold kit, which has 1-ounce spray bottles of 6 different kinds of the gold. What the gold does is encapsulated by a field meter registered to raise your blood energy to 121 megahertz. Few people can maintain that because most of it is just not that pure, not that good. We do sin, as we say, by doing the things that are not best for us. But what I'm simply saying is the more you have this substance in, the more your body tries to work at peak efficiency. And if anybody's into astral projection, if anybody wants to dream in color, if anybody wants to do psychic work and do it safely, because the energy is there, you need to take the gold powder, and that you would take at night on an empty stomach. If you're beginning to try to raise the blood energy, to try and help again to raise the blood, the system again, your immune system, and so there's something which we call immune deficiency fluid, if you would. It's a gold that helps to build the immune system. That is available. If you're really into chronic diseases and you think you have cancer, stuff like this is when you would use a DNA boost and coupled with the other things you're using that will send a signal directly to the pineal gland, which would tell the pituitary gland, and I know that's not the way you've been taught, will tell the pituitary gland to continue to do the fighting and to maintain order within that cell structure. It maintains the DNA in the cell, which is your cell governor, to be specific, do what it's supposed to do, grow hair, grow muscle, be whatever the system it's in, and stop it from becoming a free radical. So, cancers and things like this are free radical cells that have lost their cell governor and no longer will follow the memory of the cell, which is in the membrane. But when you take the DNA boost, the signal goes directly into the hypothalamus, right up there to the pineal gland, who then tells the pituitary gland, notice again how I'm reversing that order that you've been taught, to keep order in that cell, and if the cell isn't already deteriorated, it begins to set up that stable field around it to protect that cell governor. So I don't know what more you can do than that one, but then we also have it to alter thoughts. It's called Altura. We have gold, we have silver, we have all kind of different gold. So gold is not just what you hear, just one thing. It's a number of things when used efficiently. And then we have all kind of brain boosters that are natural. Many people that are going through ADD and attention deficit disorder and bipolar, and they tell you that once you begin to lose the cells and the brain cells go, that's it. You can't regrow them. Biggest lie ever told, or biggest ignorance ever shown. It simply means, again, that if you can take things that have lion's mane in them, and we have one called mental clarity. Mental clarity is one of the subjects. We don't make any of these. I've worked enough to find out which are bad, which are good, which works. And if you take the mental clarity, within 30 days' time, sometimes even before that, you begin to store brain cells, you begin to restore memory, and you can tell how that goes because I always tell a little secret. You wake up in the morning and there'll be a song in your head or something that you thought about. Usually, to me, it's music. And the song will be from the past. And you say, why am I thinking about this? Because that past memory, that reflection of recollection is now functioning because it's helping you to do that. And as far as concentrated focused thought, very easy. We have something called Neurozyme. And when you take the Neurozyme and the other, you got over 14 different herbs to help you to concentrate, restore memory, and do it with ease because it's such a beautiful thing. It also illumines your consciousness to hold thoughts and to work puzzles and to work math and everything else. So everything that they say can't be done, I found can be done. The can't be is what they've done because it isn't done. Who are they? These they that have been miseducated, that are putting out false information in terms of what they call allopathic medicine, which has its place, but is not for anybody that's spiritual at this time on our planet Earth. So I simply say you're going to have to go to alternative ways, and the herbals is what pineal works with. The melanin we have works with things that are natural. The things that they're teaching in allopathic are synthetic. There's nothing synthetic that can work correctly to restruct, construct, or to regenerate anything in a human body that has melanin. Hear that again. If you have melanin, anytime you do anything synthetic, you're taking a step backwards. You're taking a step toward dis-ease and imbalance. When you use the things that are on Earth, that are not altered, not genetically modified, not synthetic, you're now using the very things that your melanin controls, because as they're finding now with black holes and dark stars, the biggest black hole you have is right there in your head in the pineal gland. It's a dark matter mass. They can't break it down. They have not been able to do it, and it does the same thing that you're now finding out. As we now go forward in consciousness on our planet, which I feel is going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, and we go consciousness with it, our melanin gets stronger. Our pineal gland begins to vibrate more, like the big waves that you see coming from Uraeus and the caduceus. It is a way of coming back into consciousness and living with the planet rather than being against the planet, getting stronger instead of getting weaker. And this is why now they're getting into all these things that are going to weaken you in the term of shots and all like that. But I'll take a break on that one because I think I've shared a lot, and I thank you very much, Brother Rich, for at least letting the people understand some of the products, of course. And we also do have tapes, but I'm more interested right now in the products we have because everybody needs them, and most people don't know it.
What does it mean for the planet? You say the planet is going from the third to the fifth dimension. What does it mean for the planet to be in the fifth dimension? How will it affect us differently? What will it be like?
It is my understanding, limited as being a mere mortal person, a spiritual person, trying to understand the existence of life and why I have here and where I'm going from and where I'm coming to and all these things. In my studies now, as is being revealed by many people, so I agree with them, that our planet has been like a kindergarten. It's been a planet that is like a zoo, Matrix, the island of Dr. Mabuse, where you had a mad scientist that escaped so-called civilization and went and experimented with animals on the island, crossbreeding them, DNAing them, mixing other animals with other animals, and finding humans with other animals. Well, I think that's what's been done on this planet. This planet is very, very, very old, much older than most of the geophysicists and archaeologists and meteorologists and all of these so-called historic figures that try to measure the Earth, and it has had intelligent life on it. If we can call this intelligent life, then I say it continues. I think we're not too intelligent most of the time, but it has had intelligent life forms on it, and unfortunately some of those life forms have taken hold of this planet, misused it, and be DNA'd many things, and many experiments still go on here. And those are why you hear about people being abandoned and kidnapped and genetically modified. There's a fight that has been going on for this planet for some time. But this planet has won the fight. It's won the love of the universal creator, who has decreed, and I can think of no other else than the universal creator that can do this, that our planet now be granted a dispensation, the right to go from kindergarten to postgraduate school. And in the space of, I would say, the next 4 years. Because as they talk about 2012, 2012 means if you can get there, you're already into the fifth dimension. Now that goes by this, by saying that the third dimension is as low as you can get and still be under a sun. That's why you hear the phrase, there's nothing new under a sun. That simply means that when you have a sun, you cannot govern yourself. You are now using the rays of consciousness that certain ones on the planet can pull from, the planet herself can pull from. But when a planet graduates, she goes into the dark world. She goes and creates her own light. You know, they always say, looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I say, in wise souls bring the light when they go into the tunnel, because if they know you go into the tunnel, you'll need light. And so let there be light meant that the darkness had surrounded here was also very good, but it was misused, and the sun was misused by the moon, and that gets into another story. I'm not going to cross all these things, but when the moon came in, it lowered the vibrations of the sun, and our sun has been seeking to grow in stature and in magnetism ever since. Well, we now have, and I say this very slowly, most of you have heard it before. For those who are new at it, I'll make the statement again. We now have two suns. We've had a second sun since almost the middle of 2003, and it is very magnetic and growing in magnetism. And, of course, all the astronomers and astrophysicists and, again, the meteorologists say that our sun magnetic field is weakening. Biggest lie ever told. They want it to weaken. Our planet's magnetic energy is growing because the sun is now doubled in intensity because there are now two of them. Many people, I used to tell them, last year how they could still take photographs of it with